Hi, my name is Madison Ward. I'm currently taking COH 100 this semester, and for the first assignment, we're going to be talking about being a better healthcare consumer and staying on top of issues that arise within that situation. And so, after reading through chapters 10, 11, and 18 in the book American Sickness, and then also reading the article that was given to us, there's obviously a lot of different issues that kind of arise out of that, and some of the most obvious being increasing healthcare costs, which were covered a lot in chapters 10 and 11. Something from the article that stuck out to me was the uninsured population in America. I believe they gave us a statistic where it was about 55% of people get their healthcare coverage from their work, or you can, but only 55% of the population is actually covered through those benefits. That took me by surprise because I honestly would have guessed that number to be higher, and I wish it were too. That's just kind of an unfortunate fact. But the thing that I found the most surprising to be the chapter 18 covering the overhyped medical technology, because you would think that if we're making all these advancements within the medical field and using technology, that's going to be great for patients and consumers. However, it's a lot of times can be kind of redundant and unnecessary. So the reason why that is because these medical advancements, a lot of times it's like trackers. For example, we have things for diabetic people where it can let them know about their blood sugar. It tracks their blood sugar levels. It tracks when they're going to need insulin. It tracks and tells them when they're going to need to eat something. So a lot of these things, they just provide data and not actual improvements. It's just kind of tracking your health metrics. And there's some risks that can arise out of that other than just kind of being unnecessary and more costly. For example, your health data could be shared and sold off, and that's just very invasive, and it's invading your privacy rights as a consumer and as a patient. But for example, you can get full body MRIs done now, which is cool. It's awesome to be preventative in a lot of different health issues, and by doing the full body MRI, you can do that and maybe catch something when it's small. However, a lot of people's bodies, it's very normal to have little anomalies all over that they're not perfect, but they're not in the long term going to be something you actually need to worry about. It can kind of clear up over time. However, after you see these little anomalies all over your body, a lot of times doctors will recommend further invasive procedures and maybe some biopsies to look at things to make sure that it's not actually something that is going to be bad for your health in the long term. But it's just, again, another costly thing to get done. It's also very invasive in the body, and it's a big risk putting yourself under it and going through all these little unnecessary treatments. So, yeah, like it's great to track your health metrics, but a lot of times it just can be redundant and unnecessary, which is the unfortunate side to this. How can I protect my rights as a better healthcare consumer? You just have to do your research, really. That's mostly going to be the issue here. You need to be upfront with your physician or your healthcare provider and make sure you're asking all of the right questions to them. And if not, you can do your own research by yourself. You need to look into some of these companies, some of these products that are trying to be sold to you, to see if you can avoid these unnecessary costs, because you're already going to be paying more than likely a lot of money trying to receive the proper health care, and you don't want to have to keep adding on to that and putting yourself into more debt with just unnecessary products that you really don't need. Again, with the health data being shared, I feel like that's a newer issue that people are starting to see arising as we keep developing this technology and it being sold off between companies and providers. I think that's going to be a very big risk too, because you just don't want that being shared. That's it's a big invasion of your privacy. But in the end, yeah, you really just have to research and do your own rights. Healthcare is a huge issue in the United States, and it's constantly being talked about within politics, and you have to realize that there are certain things that you can do to protect yourself, and these chapters revealed a little bit of that, and I am excited to continue reading this book and see different issues that arise and how they're being dealt with. So thank you.